Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our charity Burns Night. I'm delighted that you were all able to join us this evening. I want to stress that I'm afraid mine is the most boring speech of the evening. They will get better from here on in, because we are following a well-worn path of Burns Nights that take place all over the world. I also apologise for the fact that those of you who are Scottish would wish that there was, once again, as in the days of John McGregor, who one or two of you remember, a Scottish origin British ambassador here in Poland, but I'm afraid you're going to have to put up with an Englishman this evening. From my perspective, Scotland has always been a fascinating place, but it was only when I really started to engage with the business community here in Poland that I realised that there is a very long history not only of relations between Poland and Scotland, and I'm going to leave that to our special guest to talk about later, so more of that later on. But the reality is that actually there is also a very good trading relationship between Scotland and Poland. Scottish smoked salmon is one of the most fast-growing exports into this country. On average, it goes up by about 90% a year. So the odds are, if you've eaten any smoked salmon in the last month, 50-50 it came from Scotland. But it goes wider than that. Anybody who has decided that Polish railways will take a year or two before the investment really kicks in and has started travelling on Polski bus, that of course is really another great Scottish investment. And I think it's a demonstration that Scottish entrepreneurs get absolutely everywhere. Also, if like me you happen to work for Her Majesty's Foreign Office, a real demonstration of Scottish enthusiasm for the world is just how many Scots there are in our diplomatic service. I think it's an indication, not as some would say, that people are desperate to get away from the climate and the midges, but rather that actually, despite being pretty north, people in Scotland really have a curiosity, an interest, and an excitement in the world. But also, in a way, the most important export story is Scottish whisky. When I first came to Poland in 1982, you went to Pevex and they had Johnny Walker.
For $4 a bottle.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the price, but I have no doubt that Senator Jolkowski is absolutely right. We were lucky. We were able to import whiskey, and therefore we had a slightly wider choice. And it was noticeable that when people were invited to the most exclusive club in Warsaw at that time, the sadly late lamented British Embassy Pink Elephant Club, how many people went straight for the whiskey? So it's great now that in 2013 there are a much wider range of whiskies available, and that more than 40% a year is the kind of growth we're seeing in Scotch whisky. And I am absolutely convinced that that will continue year on year, and that increasingly people will not only be drinking blended whiskies, but also fine single malts, such as you have on all of your tables. However, it's not all good news for Scotch whisky, I'm afraid. I've been consulting the Whiskey Bible, written by Jim Murray. And I have to tell you that the competition is really out there these days. You find whiskies from India, Sweden, South Korea, Japan, which I'm sure many of you are aware of already. But it gets better, folks. We get to Wales, Penderyn, a fine Cornish whisky got credit, and there is rumour that somewhere in the east of England, St George's malt whisky is on the way. However, the best news of all for the Scots in this room is that I very much regret to say that first and second place in the 2013 Jim Murray Whisky Bible both go to bourbons. So I'm afraid Scottish whisky does have competition. However, I'm delighted to say that what I have in my hand is very firmly a good Scotch whisky. I very much hope that you will all enjoy the evening. As I said at the start, we are supporting tonight a fantastic charity called Lepshi Start, which works with a group of people who do not always get the support that they need, which is autistic children. I have personally talked to the people that run Lepshi Start and look forward to visiting the school which they are responsible for. So during the course of this evening, I'm sure we will eat too much, drink too much, and hopefully have a very good time. But we will also be able to think that we are doing something good while we do it. I would like to invite you to toast Scotland and Scotch whisky. Enjoy the evening. Slán, as I believe.
Please be seated. Now we give the dram to the piper, and we give a dram to the piper for piping in the haggis, and to the chef for making a magnificent meal. Slán. I now will call upon Mr. Adam Hazanov to propose the toast Ode to the Haggis, Proposko Ode do Kashanka.
Fair! Fire! Honest! Some say face. Great chieftain of the pudding race. A boon am I attack your place, page, tripe or firm. Weel are you worthy of grace as lang's my elm. The groaning treasure, there he fell. The hardies, like a distant hill. The pin would fit to mend a mill in time of need. While through your pores your dews distil like amber bead. His knife, see rustic labour dict, and cut you up with ready slict, drenching your gushing entrails brick like ony ditch, and then, oh, what a glorious sight! Warm reeking, rich. Then, horn for horn, they stretch and strive, deal at the hindmost, on they drive, till all their wheel-swag kites fell live are bent like drums. An odd good man may fit to rive, be thank it hums. Is there that o'er his French ragout? Or olio with stoa sow, or fricassee with macar spew with perfect scudder, looks down with sneering scornful view on sicker dinner. Poor deal. See him o'er his trash, as feckless as a withered rash, his spindle shank a good whiplash, his knee ain't knit, through bloody flood or field to dash. Oh, how unfit. but mark the rustic haggis fed. The trembling earth resounds his tread, clapping his wally never bled, he'll make it whistle, and legs and arms and heeds will sned like tapsy thistle. Odd powers, we make mankind your care, and dishes out our bill of fare. Odd Scotland wants nae skinking ware that jops and luggies, but if you wish her grateful prayer, gie her a haggis!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and drink a toast to the guest of honour, the haggis.